correspondent, senior political correspondent, Ayodele Ozugbakun is live for us now. Good morning, Ayo, and it's looking like it's going to be a very busy day. We talked about the APC's mega rally in Akure this morning. How is it looking like from your end?
Yes, the All Progressive Congress and other political parties, they are winding down their campaigns across the 18 local government of the state. And I think the All Progressive Congress will be having their own somewhere around the Moshood Abiola mega park this morning. And they expect the Vice President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria to be there. And at about 10 o'clock, that rally will kick off. But other political parties too are also going round to canvass for votes. Yesterday, we brought you the candidate of the YPP. Today, we have the candidate of the Social Democratic Party and the Labour Party. I beg your pardon. Labour Party is somebody that is known in this state. He is a 3-time commissioner, a local government, former local government chairman, and is also from the Southern Senatorial District of the state. And that means all the major players, they've, unofficially zoned the ticket of the governorship to the Southern Senatorial District of that state. I have Mr. Sola Ebiseni. Congratulations, and I learned you went to court to get the ticket of your party.
It's part of the democratic process. It's part of the democratic process, so I'm the candidate of the Labour Party.
Mr. Peter Obi was here the day before yesterday,
yes,
and
yes, he was here Monday.
Are you looking to latch upon his popularity across the country? And how popular is he in this part of the country?
Well, you have just said that the APC is bringing the Vice President to wrap up their own campaign. We did our own on Monday by bringing His Excellency Mr. Peter Gregory Obi, the leader of the Labour Party, to wrap up our campaign, that is the open rally. And we did it in a special manner. You see, it's unlike other political parties where you gather bigwigs in a particular arena to talk to their own party members. You will see what happened. People gather from different parts of the state in an open space, and then the leaders speak to the party, to our party members. In our own case, we take our campaigns to the people. You could see Peter Obi moving from one person to the other in the market, on the streets, and that is our modus operandi. That's what we've been doing.
Ultimately, we saw this in the 2023 presidential election. It's not about the crowd that comes out during, these campaigns, but it's about the number of people that will come out to vote for Sola Ebiseni of the Labour Party that day.
Oh, very well. Like you said in your intro, Sola Ebiseni is a very popular name in Ondo State. He has been one-time chairman of local government. As a matter of fact, about the youngest local government chairman in Nigeria then, just 2 years from the NYC, 3 times commissioner, 2014 federal government delegate to the national conference. The Secretary General of Afenifere is a lawyer. And so we have seen it all. Above all, I have been commissioner 2 times in the most popular administration in this state. 2009 to 2017, the Labour Party administration in this state is the one that no one has ever beaten, that no political party, no administration has ever beaten in Ondo State. And that is what we campaign with. We're talking of a party that gave the people free education, free health. It's not just by name. We went down to the level of ensuring that once a child is conceived, that child is a property of the state. We take care of the mother. We take care.
A lot of people will say this achievement, the achievement of yesterday.
Oh, yes.
That when we are talking about today now,
yes,
poverty has been weaponized.
Yes.
We're talking about, the man with the biggest war chests. Do you have what it takes to compete with these mega parties?
Oh, you see, there is no mega party. If there is any mega party in this state, it's the party of the obedience. It is Labour Party that is mega party. It's a party whose membership goes across ages. So when you're talking of money, money has not really played a strong role in the politics of Ondo State. How wealthy?
We're told 20,000 naira has been earmarked, and even farm products and everything for people to induce them.
Oh, very well. The people know that it is their money. It is their money they are giving back to them.
Do you have it? Do you have the watches?
I do not have the people's money with me. Those who have the people's money, the people know that it is their money they are giving back to them. So we are not disturbed
So what are
by
you
that.
going to give to them?
What we're going to give to the people?
Yes.
We're going to give to the people food for life. It's not the Boko Sebe in one day. We're going to give people food for life. We're going to give their children good education. We're going to give them good health. I've said it in our campaigns that from the day I am sworn in as the governor of Ondo State, that education will not only be free, it will be compulsory. With what Awolowo they give for us since 1950s, it is a shame that any state in the southwest of Nigeria, including Ondo and Delta, will still be talking of out-of-school children. There will be no out-of-school children in Ondo State.
So you are not looking at the way of stomach infrastructure.
Stomach infrastructure is not for the purpose of inducing people to vote. It's for the purpose of preparing, providing for the welfare of the people. Of course, that is paramount in our campaign. Let me tell you something. This election is about the APC and the Labour Party. PDP is not in this election.
Really?
Very
we
well.
thought it's just between
No. PDP
the
is
APC
not.
and the
No,
PDP of
PDP is not in this election because, and I'll explain it to you. There are two administrations are going to be compared in this election, and those who took part in it. The candidate of PDP was the first-time deputy governor of the APC Akeredolu's government. The candidate of APC is the second-time deputy governor of the APC Akeredolu's government, who is also now the incumbent governor. That's going to be compared with the Labour Party administration of 2009 to 2017. And from then, I was commissioner in that government. My deputy was commissioner in that government. The two candidates of both the PDP and the APC were deputy governor of the Akeredolu's government. So it's going to be a comparison between the Labour Party Mimiko administration of 2009 to 2017.
The Labour Party actually introduced vote by.
Not at all. What do you mean by Labour Party? Labour Party is a social welfarist organization. What you talk about vote buying Labour Party is taking care of the welfare of the people. You provide for a woman, you provide for his child. She goes to the hospital, deliver free of charge. Mark you, we are the first state, I do not even know whether any other state has done it, that provides, as part of our free education component, that provides buses that take students to school and back free of charge. Even students in private schools enjoy that. That is the first time. I do not know of any other state that does that. When the APC administration came, they couldn't sustain it. We are going back to the people. We are going to give to the people more than we did in the past. So when you talk of us latching on what we did before, there must be a foundation on which we are building. If you do not have any foundation on which you are building, then what becomes of your program?
How about your structure across the states? Looking at the last presidential election, looking at the last governorship election, look at the result of this Labour Party. The last presidential election, Labour Party was nowhere to be found.
No. There are so many things at play. And I must say, you are TVC. You know that Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu was in that race as a presidential candidate, as a president. So you expect that to have some effects in the Yoruba states. But this time it is Sola Ebiseni versus Ayodele.
I want to wish you the best of luck.
Thank you.
I like your optimism.
You're welcome. It's not just optimism. It's what is going to happen. It is the Labour Party that is going to be voted for massively, and it will shock you if you are one of those who believe that it is just sheer optimism. It is the reality of the situation in our state.
Wow, Sola Ebiseni, the candidate of the Labour Party here ahead of Saturday's governorship election. Kemi, this is just a sample of what will happen on Saturday, and 17 of these candidates will be filing out to decide who ultimately occupy that house they call Alagbaka House in southwest Nigeria in Ondo State. Kemi.
All right, Ayodele, let's put you on hold now. Come back to the studio to compare notes now. Interesting contributions by Mr. Ebiseni, the Labour Party candidate. But Mr. Abbas, let's put you on hold now and also head back to hear from Ayodele Ozugbakun. I don't know if you are following the conversation here in the studio. about the
Yes,
ideals.
Kemi, very interesting. Kemi, very interesting. Yes.
What are the realities you are seeing on ground? As some parties are calling it support to the electorate, some parties are calling it voter inducement. What are you seeing on ground?
Yes, I said it yesterday that the pre-election analysis of reports that came out from Yaga Africa, it mentioned particularly, it went to substantiate the report. They went, they mentioned local government, they mentioned Ilaje, they mentioned Ondo, they mentioned my local government, or Sel local government, they mentioned the Akure, I think Akure South or Akure North. There were some local governments that they identified that politicians have been reaching out to people, and they've been distributing rice, fertilizers. They've been distributing so many things to induce them ahead of the election. And they've said, they were categorical about it, saying that on election day, anybody that will survive the election, it's all about, the stake is as high as 20,000 naira. That's the budgeted political parties. They mentioned it, but it's not on my own to mention it here. But they've said that, look, for people to come out to vote, to motivate them, that some political parties have budgeted as much as 20,000 naira. And we have situations whereby during the election, the men of the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, they go around local government to look for those that are inducing people and buying votes. Before, they used to do it very close to the polling units. But right now, they've devised a kind of sophisticated way that you can't even see. But you just know that something is curious. In as much as the Independent National Electoral Commission, they've said it several times that you don't need to go to the ballot paper polling units with your phone. But you still see some old men, they go with their phones, they snap any political party. Some, they don't even need to snap. You just see them, after they've completed, they've just take up the ballot paper, and there's an agent watching them to cite if you actually voted for their party. They're looking at, oh, APC is up, PDP is somewhere, SDP is somewhere, so they can identify that immediately. And you see that if you monitor it on Saturday, you see it curiously, some people will still have to do, despite the fact that there's a place for the secret open ballots there, that you are meant to just do thumbprints secretly and just take it down. But you still see, even candidates are even caught in this web, because it is wrong for any candidate to, after thumbprinting, for you to show us the party you voted for. It is wrong. But, it is difficult for the Independent National Electoral Commission to police this whole process. That's why a lot of people have been agitating that, the umpire. All right.
If it is difficult for INEC, what about EFCC?
Yes, they don't have the manpower. They don't have the manpower across. We're talking about 3,999 polling units. We're talking about 18 local governments. We're talking about local governments that are even in riverine areas. We're talking about Ilaje. We're talking about Ondo, that we need to go through, or you need to go through speedboats for several minutes to get to those polling units. So it's difficult to have your people, your personnel all around the country, even all around the states. As big as Ondo State is, it's going to be difficult to deploy effectively to monitor this, menace called a vote buying.
This is the gap that possibly the local police would have tried to, fill in that sense. But let's talk about the people themselves. For those who receive these food items, how's their reaction to it? Are they really being swayed by food items? Are they really preparing to collect money on the election day?
They don't understand what you said earlier, that collect their money and vote your conscience. There's no such thing. It's all about unemployment. It's all about poverty written all over, littered all over the place. And it's about the highest bidder. And we've seen this in our electoral circle. We have 8 states that we are going to have this off-cycle governorship election, because the concentration during the presidential and the governorship election across the country won't be able to see, all this menace to our electoral progress, visibly the way we're seeing it in the off-cycle election. But they perfected their act. Before, they used to bring money, they bring cash near the polling units, and as you are lining up, collect your cash. And if you don't forget, this is the state that they started Diboko Sebe. If you remember, during the second time of Rahman Olusegun Mimiko as the candidate of the Labour Party, he ran against late Akeredolu, that ultimately became the governor. But it was that state, at that time, the stake was as high as 10,000 naira in the Alagbaka area. Just make your research. It's all over the papers. So this is where it started. And I don't see anything that has changed. Instead, poverty has been weaponized.
Right, Aya, let's put you on hold and come back to the studio.
Right. Before we even, come back to the studio, okay. Kindly bear with us, Mr. Abbas. Let's, hurriedly finish off now with Ayodele, because, of course, as we have said, it's a long day for him and the crew. But in terms of preparedness on the part of INEC, how adequate, materials are being, the sensitive materials that we hear are now coming into the state. Tell us the sense that you are getting on INEC's readiness for Saturday.
Yes, immediately I leave here now, I'm going to go to the Central Bank of Nigeria, where the sensitive material that have been stored there since yesterday got here yesterday night, and we are going to see how they are going to unbundle them, and it's going to be sent to all the local government. Those are sensitive materials. We have party agents, journalists, we have a lot of observers, we have everybody that will be observing the process of unbundling this big material, that the most sensitive materials, talking about ballot papers that will be distributed across, and it's in serial numbers. And for each of the polling units, INEC told us earlier that they're going to have polling officer. There's going to be 1 polling officer per polling unit, and there's going to be assistant polling officer, 3 assistant polling officers each of these polling units. So altogether, we expect a total of 15,750 polling officers and assistant polling officers across the 3,933 polling units in 18 local governments. So it's looking set. The normal, the rhetorics, INEC will tell you that they are ready. And on Saturday, we look at the deployment. We look at how, how early they deploy. We look at when the exercise starts across the states. We look at the difficult terrain, the riverine areas, how they are able to get logistics, how they are able to get the materials down to these areas. That's the Ilaje, SLD local government, those 2 peculiar local government. And the funniest part is that the major gladiators are actually from that district, that's the Southern Senatorial District, that is Ilaje, SLD local government, very, very far. Some you can drive through the speedboat, navigate for like 45 minutes down into the Atlantic Ocean before you get to those areas.
All right, a fine place to rest our conversation. Ayodele Ozugbakun, senior political correspondent for TVC News. Thanks a lot for your time. Of course, we'll come back to you and the other members of the crew for more updates ahead of Saturday's election.